Malachi Gilmore Hall presents The Plot to Overthrow Christmas, written by Norman Corwin, dramaturgy by Tim Churches, produced by Lucy East, and directed by Wayne Barker, Oberon's very own Butcher Laureate. And now a few words from our producer.
Welcome all to our little production, to which I, as producer, will give an introduction. But first, we acknowledge the traditional owners of this land with whom we walk hand in hand. Now, the play's all written in rhyming couplets, delivered with impeccable timing by a vast and marvellous cast who've had to rehearse it very fast. Director Wayne's been totally tops at improving all our acting chops. Not once did he allow spirits to sag, despite the occasional stumble and snag. The actors asked, "Can't we ham it up, for goodness sake?" But Wayne was stern. No, there's a lot at stake. So let's celebrate our diverse cast thespian, whether they be straight, gay, or lesbian. Now, please enjoy our little play. Don't flee in utter dismay. And we do fervently hope and pray that you'll listen again on Christmas Day, a date which the good people of Oberon are rarely very sober on.
Did you hear about the plot to overthrow Christmas? Well, gather ye now from Geelong to the Isthmus of O'Connell Road, and listen to the story of the uttering glory of some gory goings-on in hell. Now it happened in Hades, ladies and gentlemen. It happened down there that fiends held a meeting. The fiends held a meeting for the purpose of defeating Christmas. And with the aid of a fade on the radio will take you there with a high and a hey-dio to hear firsthand the brewing of a plot down in the deepest Stygian grot.
Grot is a potential term for grotto. Whenever you hear my voce sotto or sotto voce, whichever you prefer, it's just I, taking pains to make quite sure that nobody makes a poetical allusion which might in any way create confusion. Also, grot in parlance Antipodean can also mean an unwashed plebeian. I return you now to the voice you were hearing before I had to do this interfering.
In this Stygian grot, the notables of Limbo hatched a plot, and what went on in the sulphurous hole will soon pick up by remote control. Of course, such a pickup is not made quickly. As a matter of fact, it's rather trickily. You mustn't mind if it sounds erratic, that's merely subterranean static. Don't be surprised if you're deafened by thunder. Just as we start our journey down under, you'll hear earthquakes and all of the commoner varieties of natural phenomenon. And so below, via radio, to regions where legions of the damned go.
Nero, do you hear? Nero?
How dare you interrupt me in the middle of my favorite concertos? You should look to the improvement of your manners.
Oh, sir, if you please, my apologies. I would not have intruded upon your recital if the matter were not so terribly vital.
The most important matter in the world is piddling when it comes to being compared to Nero's fiddling.
Well, now, what you say may be very true, but I've been sent here to summon you to a great massed meeting of the tortured souls down in the grot of the flaming coals.
At this point, I must explain. The devil has made it very plain. Hell is not to be powered by energy renewable. In fact, he insists that it's just not doable.
A meeting? A meeting? What for? What's the big idea? Why can't a fella have some peace down here?
Peace? Poor soul. Can't be found on these premises. This is a region abounding in nemesis.
Now you're talking like a travel folder. Tell me, Violet, before I smoulder, why are we meeting? Who's in the spot?
Well, we're meeting in order to fabricate a plot against the festival that mortal men comfort in, gladden in, again and again. You see, every year they get together.
Never mind the facts, never mind. I don't want to hear about the mortal men's acts. I am the only information which I care concerns the mass meeting and who'll be there.
Well, Her Wickedness Mephisto will preside.
Naturally.
And several of the Borgias will be sitting by her side. And down in front by the sizzling sodium will be many personalities noted for their odium. Haman, Caligula, Medusa and Barnaby.
Yeah, well, that's all very nice, but what about me?
Oh, well, you'll be sitting in row A centre between Ivan the Terrible, the Tormentor and Circe.
Oh, mercy. Why, they're both deranged.
What, do you wish me to see if your seat can be changed?
Well, yes, if you will, please. Taste comes first, even though a soul may be eternally cursed.
Righto. I'll see you at the meeting then.
Okay, yes, and now back to my fiddling again.
The meeting will now come to order, please. I've called you here from over 60 seas of boiling pitch and blazing phosphorus to stop what constitutes a loss for us. We've lost prestige, and I greatly deplore that we stand in danger of losing more. In the way of confidence and spirit, we're far from our goal. We're nowhere near it. And this is the reason, though we've done well in carrying forward the work of hell, we've left a very big job unfinished. After all these years, there is undiminished goodwill on earth every late December because of Christmas. Now, please remember that as long as this continues to be, the race of man will not belong to me. I will listen now to any questions you may want to ask and then suggestions.
Madam Chair.
Brother Haman has the floor.
You say we've done well in our efforts to sell evil. I say we've done better. We have carried out the letter of your law. We've done what I think is a pretty good job, and I say as a veteran demon, sit down there, Harmon. Enough of this folly. Sit down yourself. You're out of your trolley. Sit down, for I am Ivan the Terrible. You're telling us why you're unbearable.
Fellow demons, this is no way to act. I warn you, proceed with a little more tact. I want more decorum in this forum. These personal remarks you make must cease. Now, Brother Ivan, speak your piece.
I merely want to say, in a casual way, that Harmon is a radical. He always gets fanatical. Why anyone would think to hear him snort that the work of the devil should just stop short. Anybody think to hear him talking. The dragons and lizards should stop walking. The ways of the world. Madam Chair, Brother Ivan is a demagogue with a brain like a fly and the manners of a hog. Now he says that...
Now that's enough. We shall hear from others. Surely there must be among you brothers enough of venom and malevolence to crush a mortal man's benevolence. It comes to this. Are we going to let a little holiday like Christmas get the better of us all down here below? No. Very well then, sirs, very well. Let's go. Let's lay plans now to overthrow this Christmas business and all this guff of holly and mistletoe and stuff.
Madam Chair.
Brother Caligula may take the floor.
Madam Chair, I abhor, as a former emperor, anything which curbs our rule. I suggest we start right in manufacturing more sin. Give us some presents too, candy sticks and things to chew, fruits and nuts and little cakes, poisonous as brown snakes. Let our subtlest worker be by chloride of mercury. Let us wrap in tinsel bright little gifts of dynamite. And for doggos, make a little treat of 1080 laced in some juicy meat. Work things so that men will fear whenever 2512 draws near. Soon at this rate, if you please, men will hang from Christmas trees.
My dear Caligula, permit the chair to say you've got something there. And now, with this fine start, let's hear some more.
Madam Chair, may I level with the devil?
Yes, Brother Nero, you may have the floor.
With all due respects to Caligula's views, I think there's a better method we can use. I've just learnt lately that men are giving the razz to classical music by making it jazz. They're swinging jazz, and what is keener, they're doing the shag to Palestrina. As a connoisseur of music, of course, I love the works of Rimsky-Korsakov, but today I note with a bitter shrug, they've made Scheherazade a jitterbug.
Much as we admire your clever rhyme, will you get to the point? You're wasting time.
I was just about to say, when interrupted, that Christmas can easily be corrupted. If you take and swing all the Christmas carols, why, think of the evil just barrels and barrels of sacrilege every time you play a pious song in a profane way. Why, once you entice them to swing Noel, then victory belongs to us, friends. Well. Thank you.
Madam Chair.
Yes, Mr. Barnaby.
I'd like to say that it seems to me that they're all barking up the wrong tree, that Emperor Nero's given us some wrong steers. The way to go about this is to have a word in the ears of presidents and prime ministers and suggest they secretly appoint themselves, with the connivance of vice-regal elves, to a suitable, powerful portfolio, or 2, or 3, or 6, by which can deal a deadly death blow by cleverly legislating a situation which rules old Christmas right out of the nation. Pollies can all get together and pass a law so that there won't be Christmas anymore.
I think Barnaby's suggestion is a beaut. It's very cute and quite astute.
To me, it seems a bit impractical because you'd have to be so tactical. For instance, now a senator who would sell his or her vote to our lobbyists might very well go out and become a tool of agencies representing the Yule.
By the eternal night, she's right.
Madam Chair.
Yes, Ms. Borgia?
I think we should all give pause to think about this Santa Claus. He is the man behind the scenes, the symbol of what Christmas means. The bloke with a beard like a white cloud that would do a Borg chimney proud. If we could rub him out, my friend, our troubles would be at an end. I just think how it would tickle us to liquidate Saint Nicholas. A dame like me could fascinate the guy and then assassinate.
Do you think you could do it, pretty one? Are you sure you wouldn't be by pity one?
Sometimes you are an awful tease, my mistress Mephistopheles. Haven't I murdered several dozens? Poisoned uncles, aunts, and cousins. Doesn't my work down here in Hades make me first among the ladies? Men of all virtue, all have cussed me. I am sure that you can trust me.
Of that we haven't a particle of doubt, Miss Borgia. I'm sure we all have nothing but kind feelings towards you. But many times a woman's spy, alas, adores her victims. Dames make poor ambassadors.
Do you imply that such defects are found inherent in my sex?
I do.
Well, listen here, old Ironsides. You're headed for some cyanides. You've crossed a border and you know the consequences that follow.
Come, come, disciples, this is very bad. There's nothing to be gained by getting mad. Suppose we put the matter to a vote. All those in favour of the motion made by Fiend Caligula, which was to shade the glamour of the holiday by using selected poisons of our choosing. All those in favour will please signify by rising to their feet and saying aye. Aye. One vote in favour, Caligula's, and those opposed?
Nay.
The motion is defeated. Up we bring the plan of Brother Nero's, viz. To make hymns hip-hop and sing carols as rap. All those in favour of making festive music crap. And those against? No. Very well. Now, the project of Barnaby. Who is there here who totally agrees?
I do.
Barnaby votes for himself, and those opposed? Opposed. And now all those who favour Borgia's cause, it being to eliminate Santa Claus. Aye. And those opposed? It seems to me the woman has a way with men. At least she has carried the day with them. The motion is carried. Now we will decide which one of us will take Nick for a ride. We'll all draw lots and thus settle the moot point of who'll be sent to execute.
This is your old friend Sotto Voce, visiting down here where it's eternal noche. Noche is Spanish for night, you know. It's merely a reference just to show that English isn't all I have to go by. Oh well, I guess I missed my calling. I should have been a lobbyist. You see, I'm stalling to give them time to finish the voting. Let's see, the weather. Now I'm quoting some jokers called the bomb. Continued heat, both overhead and under feet. Fresh and moderate gases blowing up to gale force and then going north by westerly. Light showers of brimstone by the evening hours. That's what it says here. I'm not fibbing. How am I doing with my ad-libbing? This is a thing gabbers have fun with. Say, the drawing should soon be done with. We expect the results any moment now, as soon as...
The lots have been drawn, and I'm glad to say the honour has fallen Nero's way.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Now, Nero, you are charged with a great task. It's the evilest deed that we could ask a fiend to do. We will be proud of you.
Now, just one moment. How do I get there and what do I wear? Is it dry or wet there? Is it fact or fancy or just word of mouth that he lives at the poles both north and south? If he dwells in the regions to which I've referred, must I pass through a camp of Abril Bird or follow the footsteps of Douglas Mawson? Actually, that would be totally awesome. But what should I use when it comes to the showdown? A gun or a dagger? Now give me the lowdown.
Traditionally, when Santa's sleigh steered down under, 'twas not reindeer hoofs that created thunder. Rather, it was 6 white boomers, not Anglo-Saxon older guys, but big blonde roos hopping across the skies. But the source of this myth I shall not mention, because he's only just got out of detention.
Now, Nero, you needn't sound so tragic. You'll get to Earth by the blackest magic. To create an express elevator is simple for an expert spell creator. With a lot of pyrotechnic dazzle, we'll let you off on a hill in Basel, Switzerland. From there, you will make your way through ice with a blowtorch. After a while, you're bound to reach Santa's domicile. And once you get there, my dear Nero, all of our work will have gone for zero if you don't succeed in your assignment. A disadvantage to our confinement in limbo's the fact that we only get one chance in all the eternal roulette of circumstances.
I know if at first we don't succeed, we can try and try again. But there is no need, because nothing will come of it. Meaning, no offense, do you mind if I take my departure hence?
That, my friends, was a big brass gong. It's used in this story right along to indicate that we are about to travel to points where the plot will further unravel. But now, if Ambassador Nero elects, we'll have another spot of sound effects.
Tell me, stranger, is this Basel, Switzerland, or is it really Donna and Blitzerland?
Donna und Blitzerland's 5,000 kilometers away.
Oh, thank you, mister, and good day. Tell me, stranger, I've been walking inland for weeks. Where am I now?
In Finland?
Tell me, stranger, because I've lost stock, where am I now?
In Vladivostok.
Listen, stranger, after all these centuries of blistering feet down below, now I have to suffer from freezing feet. I'm wincing with pain from this pesky toe.
Surely from my dress you can intuit that I'm a very proud member of the Inuit.
I declare by my frenetic soul, I must be over the North Magnetic Pole. My watch has stopped. Can that be right? I wonder. A light. In a moment now, you'll hear me knock on Santa's door, and he'll unlock it, never more to lock again.
Coming!
So is doom.
How do you do, sir?
Well, very well indeed. And you, sir?
Splendidly. Won't you come right in? Take your coat off. I can see your chin is frozen. Also your hands and knees. Sit down while I get you some antifreeze.
Don't bother, sir. I will not be long. I'm here to perpetrate a fearful wrong. In short, I'm going to do away with...
Take it easy. Do not play with that gun. I know all about you.
Oh, really?
Haven't I had my agents scout for you for weeks? You've come all this way to abolish Christmas. And let me say that I don't really think you should, carry on.
Listen, Santa, I'm no callow stripling. I've read Ernest Hemingway and Kipling, and also The Taming of the Shrew and the Shrew, and something about the King of the Fairies too. And just to show you what a broad guy I am, I've also read Rubaiyat by Omar Khayyam. Do you think that a fellow with his reading so graded could have learned so little as to be dissuaded from the main objective? Why, don't make me giggle.
I'd feel a lot better if you didn't wiggle that gun so. Much as I'm impressed with your education, I honestly believe that a figure of your station should have given more thought to the ways of man and less devotion to the cult of Pan.
By others, no doubt, your wisdom may be prized, but I didn't come here to be criticized. In fact, I came to dispatch a duty, so don't hand me any of this tutti-frutti. If you have any last words you want to say, then speak them now. I haven't got all day.
What's the rush? Unless I've counted wrong, the polar day has always been 6 months long.
Well, after I've disposed of you, I've got to hurry right back to hell, or they'll begin to worry.
Not about you, but about your career in homicide. Do you think the mere loss of you would make them hysterical? Their only interest is numerical.
You think so?
Mephisto wants to rule just as much of humanity as possible for reasons of personal vanity.
By the sticks, you're right to think that she'd dare. And are there any ladies here? Will you permit me to swear?
My answer to that is an emphatic no. There are several lady dolls in the toy room below.
Oh, Claudius, oh, Cassius, oh, Naphthaline. What a fool I've been, what a fool I've been. But wait, I think I see what you're after. You're as clever as a big-time Roman grafter. You remind me now of my royalty just to get me in the mood for disloyalty. Do you think I could be that meanly deceptive to Satan? Why, Santa, I'm keenly perceptive. I can see right through all your clever ruses. Nero can be plenty foxy when he chooses. I'll have you know that I'm partly a dreamer, partly a wit, and partly a schemer. I'm part philosophical and also part mystic.
I suppose you fancy that you're highly artistic.
Well, fancy? Why, I have such a great sense of beauty.
Don't hand me a helping of tutti frutti. Any preacher who really has beauty in his soul would appreciate Christmas. He would know that the whole idea of the holiday was one of such power that all the friends that below would gnash their teeth and glower. Yet, never in a million years could it do harm, because it has a glory, a greatness, a charm you know nothing about.
Is that so?
The spirit that it venerates, the good cheer that it generates, are things far, far beyond you. For all your wealth, no man on earth could sell you these.
Am I so cursed as that? Will you tell me, please, what beauties there may be that I have never seen?
Have you ever seen a Christmas tree? Tall and green, in state forests, Janolan and Vulcan, covered with a sheen of silveriness, its branches bending low with the fruits of human kindness instead of snow.
No.
Have you ever closely witnessed what takes place any Christmas morning on a young child's face? Or perceive any beauties purer than the joys distilled in the hearts of little girls and boys? Have you ever watched a fire in a fireplace on a Christmas Eve? Or listened to grace at a table heavy with fruits and cakes and all the wonders that a kitchen makes? Fowls and pastries, wines and meats, and nuts and raisins and candied sweets. All those foods that make good cheer, as commercialized by Maggie Beer. Have you ever seen mistletoe hanging from a ceiling in the frosty air? Heard a far bell pealing? Have you ever come back from a sleigh ride, tingling, and your feet keeping time with the sleigh bells, tingling? Have you ever the beauty of a sprig of holly, or felt for a moment how it feels to be jolly?
Golly.
Have you ever known how exceedingly pleasant it is to unwrap a Christmas present? Did you ever know how much cheer it lends to be wished a Merry Christmas by all your friends? Did you ever experience the fun of giving? Do you know at all of the joys of living?
I guess I don't. For all of me, I never knew such things could be. Just think how long in ignorance I've slept.
It must have been the company you kept.
I was a wicked tyrant once, you know.
Ah, yes. But that was centuries ago. You had no real way of knowing.
Well, perhaps. I guess I'll be going. I really should be getting on my way.
But do you have to? Don't you want to stay?
Well, you see, I'm just a little bit,
Embarrassed?
Yes. Why, yes, sir.
Now, don't look so harassed. I know why it is you came and who it was that sent you. But that's all done with. I take it you repent, you of all your past mistakes.
With many pains and aches of conscience.
Then you are welcome here. Please, take your hat off, your coat, your muffler also. Take your spat off. What happened to the other one? No matter. You're pretty thin. You'll presently be fatter. I serve good food here. I'll get you a platter of steak and mushrooms. That's Oberon fare. I'll bet that you're as hungry as a bear. Now, you just sit down, that's it. Right over here, and tell me, will you have some wine or beer? I don't touch it myself, but I managed to keep some on hand. A little rum for purposes medicinal. I mean, your chin should be unfrozen. What a state it's in.
A while ago you asked me if I understood good cheer. I do so now, St. Nicholas. I see it standing here. I want to ask you something, sir. Now, please, don't give a yelp, but is there any sort of work to do where I could be of help?
Indeed there is, indeed there is. And I'm glad you asked me. I have so many toys to make this year, the job's got past me. But first, you sit and eat this bowl. I've got a little trifle I'd like for you to see. So will you sit right down here and stifle your curiosity? I'll get it for you right away. It's down the hall a piece.
Oh, well, who'd ever think it? Will wonders ever cease? At last, after all these centuries, I'm so happy I could buzz. It shows you what a little bit of Christmas spirit does. As emperor, I envied oft the cheerfulness of peasants. And now...
Well, here it is now. Nero, my boy, by way of Christmas presents, I offer you this little gift.
But Santa, for what reason?
A very good one, sir. To wit, compliments of the season. Well, go ahead, open it. Why stand there so reflecting?
I'm just collecting my thoughts, Saint Nick. My thoughts I'm just collecting. Just think how far a tiny bit of fellowship would carry us. Oh, well. Oh, I say. What's this? Oh, what's this? It's Stradivarius. Oh, why, thank you. Thanks a million times. I don't know what to say to you. I'll tell you what I'll do, St. Nick. I'll start right in and play for you. And I'll play all night and day for you.
Fine. Now here's some music. I'm sure you'll play it well. It's a little piece entitled Noel. Noel.
This is I. Remember me? Your sotto voce friend. I've just come back to tell you that this story is at an end.
You've been listening to The Plot to Overthrow Christmas, written by Norman Corwin, produced by Lucy East, directed by Wayne Barker. The announcer in Caligula was played by Tim Churches. Lynn Hancock's was sotto voce. The courier was Karen Purser. Mephisto was played by Di Coleman. Nero by Grant Johnston. Haman and Vladimir Putin, was played by Trent Oliver. Neville Ross was Barnaby. Natasha Soboyski was Lucretia Borgia. And Santa Claus was played by Ian Gordon. Philippa Page played the violin, and Johnny East was the Foley artist. This is Radio Malachi Gilmore, Oberon.
Thank you.